Hi there. Welcome back to another quick and easy watercolor painting. I'm Rod Bergeron, and today we're going to do something that's a little bit going to have sort of a fall sort of a scene. We're going to put some blue in our sky. We're not going to do too much more than that to it. I'm going to rinse this brush out, and I'm going to pick up some red here. And because it's fall and there's quite a bit of red around in the sky right now, or red around in the trees right now, I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to pick up some yellow. And my hope is that the yellow mixes with the red and gives us some orange in a couple of places. Just like that. All right, that's not too bad. I'm going to pick up a little bit more red and make it a little bit more intense. Just like that. That's not too bad. All right, now I'm going to pick up a little bit of green, just a touch of green. And I'm just going to touch a little bit of green in a few places. All right, that's not too bad. Now I'm going to make a bit of a tree, like a field sort of that's coming along there and back. And I'm going to do that with some yellow ochre. So it's going to come across here and then swing back towards us, okay? So it's just going to come across and swing back. And the hope is that some of that color bleeds down into that yellow ochre. Just going to make another pass of that. And now I'm going to take this brush. I'm not going to rinse it out, and I'm going to pick up some sienna. I'm going to do the same thing with the sienna across there. And I want that sienna to be a little bit more intense than that. So I'm just going to go right to the palette and pick that up. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the yellow ochre. So I'm going to take this brush, I'm going to put it right into the yellow ochre and then just swing right back along like that. And we're going to let all this bleed together. Okay, so this is all just going to bleed together into a what's going to become a very, very interesting skyline going across here. Now I'm going to rinse this brush out because I want to pick up some more intense color here. So I want to pick up a little bit more red and give it a little bit more red in a couple of places like that. And I'm going to rinse my brush out again. And I'm going to pick up a little bit more yellow too, okay? Just like that. We're just going to let that bleed off to wherever it is it's going to bleed off to. I'm looking at this and I think I need a little bit of darkness, so I'm going to put just a touch of Payne's gray in a few places like that and let that all bleed. Okay, I'm going to take this, which is Payne's gray, and we're going to put in a couple of puddles like that. And we're going to drag through these puddles and we're going to create some brush, like some undergrowth. And all I'm doing is, this is my #1 watercolor brush, and I sharpened one end of it just with a utility knife. You can use anything for this, of course. You can use things like barbecue skewers work really well. Anything wooden. Anything wooden won't tear into the page. Okay, so I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to pick up some more Payne's gray, because what happens is as you're dragging that along, you're dragging that color out of the pile. Okay, so like this. All right, that's turned out not too bad. So we're going to hit this with a little bit of salt. Just going to put a little bit of salt across this up here where the trees are. Just like that. Maybe even a little bit across the bottom here. A little bit left on my fingers. All right, and then we're just going to let this dry and see what happens. All right, so have a look at what this salt has done around here. I mean, that's just some magnificent stuff. And then this little bit that it's done across the front here. We're not quite done with this. We're going to put some large pine trees in the background back here. And we're going to double up some of these lines just to give it a little bit of mass, okay? And then I'm going to take my #1 watercolor brush, which I admit I don't use very often, but we're going to use it to build up some pine trees here. So probably going to speed this footage up, but what you're trying to do is not touch the previous dot, okay? So you're trying to lay a dot on the page and don't touch the previous dot. Put a little bit of a rocky sort of outcropping across the bottom here of these, and do it fairly lightly the first time by, like that. And again, we're trying to push this way back into the background, okay? So don't do too much more than that to it. The other thing I wanted to do while I got my black pen out is put a few more branches onto some of these things here that we did with the scribing earlier. So you can sort of just draw out of the bottom, draw up, and put yourself some branches on there. You know, wherever it is that you think you need branches. It might not be everywhere. You might not even want to do that. So, you know, wherever. It's your drawing, it's your painting. You know, it's your world that you're creating. So whatever it is that you want to do in your world is perfectly fine. You know, the other thing is, think of all these things as experiments. Like, don't think of them as, you know, you're out here trying to create a masterpiece. You're just out here trying to have some fun and trying to put some marks on the page. All right, I'm going to dry this up with my hair dryer. All right, so we're going to go over these trees one more time. Actually, we're going to go over these trees a couple more times, but again, you're trying to not touch the previous, whatever the previous area was that had a dot in it. Like that. All right. And then we're going to dry this again. Something like that. All right, that's not too bad. I kind of like that, actually. All right, let's grab our mat, and pow, that's not too bad. That's a pretty cool looking little painting. I like it. Sort of push those trees way back in the distance back there by having these things across the front. Yeah, not too bad. I'd like to know what you think of it. Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to see your paintings. You know, if you make something from one of my videos, I'd love to see it. So you can send it to my email address across the bottom here. I'd love to see what it is that you're creating. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, if you're currently a subscriber, thanks a lot. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again real soon.